Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It is a topic so hot that memes around the internet have started to become stale. Would you believe it? When a topic starts getting stale because of too many memes on the internet, you know that it's been stretched quite a bit. I presume you all know about this case. If not, then we will summarize it for you quickly. Hello everyone, this is Pragya and welcome to our channel. Please subscribe and like our videos if you appreciate our effort. As we proceed further ahead in this video, we would also see an aspect of one of the most pressing issues of our society that we quite often overlook and which is getting highlighted because of this famous trial. In the year 2012, Depp and Heard started dating, and then in 2015 they finally got married, but the marriage fell apart and Amber Heard filed for divorce the very next year over allegation of domestic violence on his part. As per the Associated Press, she had submitted a photo of her bruised face for the restraining order request as well. Heard wrote in the filing, "I live in the fear that Johnny will return to our house unannounced to terrorize me physically and emotionally." Depp continued to deny these allegations though. Interestingly, the LAPD said in May 2016 that police officer who responded to the domestic incident radio call found no evidence of any crime. In January 2017, Depp and Heard formally finalized their divorce. Other thing happened after this, like this libel case against the Sun, which Depp lost in 2020. Let us come to the main part, which may say is the basis of the $50 million defamation lawsuit filed by Depp against Heard. On 18th December 2018, Amber Heard published an op-ed in the Washington Post titled this. The post appeared to have an indirect reference to her ex-husband, as we can read here. The thing is, Depp was not mentioned by the name in the op-ed, but still, Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against Heard. As an answer, Heard filed a $100 million countersuit against Depp, accusing him of allegedly orchestrating a smear campaign against her. Finally, on 11th April 2022, the defamation case against Heard began. We all know what happened after this. It is all ugly and shocking. Both sides looked bad. Johnny Depp, however, won the case in June 2022 and would get $15 million in damages. So much bite-sized content and meme commentaries flooded the web since then, which cannot be of so much help in solving the issue of intimate partner violence. We are one of those commentators and are not claiming to solve anything here. But if we can sensibly discuss the issue of intimate partner violence and find something worthwhile out of it, we don't think it would be damaging to anyone. Just a reminder, we are only taking the emerging question of intimate partner violence, which we found as worth discussing out of the case. Intimate partner violence, or just IPV, refers to any behavior within an intimate relationship that causes physical, psychological, or sexual harm to those in the relationship. Let us also remind ourselves here one thing. The most common tool used to research the IPVs is CTS. While it has the benefit of ease of use and is generally unbiased in its nature, it is still controversial and not perfect. For example, it is not great in providing information about the context in which such act happened, like initiation, intention, history, or pattern of violence. We would not go deep into this for now, but it's still the best available tool we have and something we should be aware of before getting into the actual finding. We think that with the topic of IPV against women, we should also talk about IPV against men. Because just like the violence against women is a reality, so is the violence against men. Just to let you know, we are not comparing any one issue to be more important than the other. We should be aware that there are countless points to consider if we are to go in that direction. For example, both gender can experience or define violence to be different. That is, a man might label violence differently than a woman and vice versa. So, instead of taking sides, we all should give both issues similar weight and just consider them to be prevalent issue around us. We are aware and should rightly be aware of the IPV Against Women. As per the WHO's report, which collected data on IPV from more than 24,000 women in 10 countries, women aged 15 to 49 years were interviewed. Among these women who had ever been in an intimate partnership, 13 to 61 reported ever having experienced physical violence by a partner. 20 to 75% reported experiencing one emotionally abusive act or more from a partner in their lifetime. The finding confirms that physical and sexual partner violence against women is widespread. The variation in the places where this occurs highlights the fact that it must be addressed. In this table, we can see the percentage of women who reported sexual abuse by a partner varied between 6% in Japan, Serbia, and Montenegro cities and 59% in Ethiopia province, with the majority of settings falling between 10% to 50%. In all settings, women who had ever experienced physical or sexual partner violence or both reported significantly higher levels of emotional distress, injuries, and were more likely to have thought of suicide or to have attempted suicide than women who had never experienced partner violence. The available data and findings from varied research show the prevalence of IPV against women, which should no longer stay hidden behind a closed door. The studies pose a challenge to the commonly held perception that a home is a place of safety or refuge for women. The O.J. Simpson case was considered the watershed moment for the understanding of domestic violence, when details of the violence against his wife came out to the public. This current case has similar potential to help shape the global conversation about abuse, most likely for men. Now, while IPV against women is a significant issue that we have discussed just now, we also believe that it is a topic that tends to have an easier acceptance of its seriousness than we do for a similar issue involving the opposite sex. Historically, scientific research and also media around the world have focused mostly on female victims, and very few exists for men. The reason behind this is that generally women are looked at as victims and not perpetrators, whereas men are looked at as perpetrators and not victims. According to the analysis done by the Federal Criminal Police Office of Germany, nationwide in the year 2018, there were more than 100,000 cases of IPV against women, whereas more than 26,000 men were found to be the victim of intimate partner violence, although the research and awareness of this issue are not quite sufficient. These studies at least show that the issue exists around us. As per this research paper here, out of 1,000 males in the region, around 50% experienced violence at the hands of their wives or intimate partner at least once in their lifetime, and 10.5% in the last 12 months. Here, we have to highlight this fact that the most common partner violence was emotional at around 50%, followed by physical violence at 6%. In another paper, there is a significant difference between the prevalence rate for physical IPV at 12% and psychological IPV at 28%. The t-test here also reveals a significant difference between sexual and psychological IPV. The figures may change in different countries or states depending on the socio-economic and cultural factors, but the findings know where they are taking us. The prevalence of IPV against men too needs our consideration. Also, violence cannot just be physical and its definition can be different as per the gender's experience. Although we do have few numbers on the reported cases of abuse in a relationship, we still have numerous instances that are unreported. This is true for both genders, but the situation on the male side is worse. The available studies on men seeking help inform us that men are less likely to seek help than women, and that men who do seek help must overcome internal and external obstacles to do so. It's specifically difficult for male victims to seek help for IPV because of the notion attached to their genders and the belief that IPV is a woman's issue. In the below table, we can see the receptions of the resources available for men in cases of violence against them and get an idea of how the system itself receives such cases. The below experience shared by one of the victims is a good way to summarize this. They didn't really listen to what I said. They assumed that all abusers are men and said that I must accept that I was the abuser. They ridiculed me for not leaving my wife, ignoring the issue about what I would need to do to protect my 6 children and care for them. One of the great contradictions of human nature is that our most injurious behavior occurs among loved ones. Despite the general understanding of the prevalence of IPV, we still do not know how to eradicate them. The cases still come up and families still suffer. Researchers and scholars are still trying to pinpoint what exactly constitutes violence, but the road to resolution still appears to be far ahead. We can, however, do a few things that can at least help the situation. As we saw through various studies, we are required first to take the issue seriously. Due to roles assigned by society, men and women both are scared and hesitant to speak out. If we are more serious about this, maybe then the victim would get the courage to come forward. Johnny Depp spoke. He won and found his self-respect back. The same goes for everyone, men or women. If they speak, their self-respect can be restored. It is challenging but worth trying. Let us be more aware of our surroundings and of the help available for the victims. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you have any feedback, you can write it in the comment below. We'll see you in the next one.